I was building 6 to 10 houses on the side, hiring a builder while working a full 9-to-5 job. And today I want to share my story on it. My name's Arthur, the developer. I have done over 1,500 residential lots to date. I've done commercial, Dutch Bros, Jiffy Lube, Chase Bank, all the commercial. I've done light industrial, multifamily, and I have actually been part of building over 250 doors where I hired a builder and I held the loan in my name. So I've done over 50 million in loans. And I'm gonna share how working a full-time job and just being an active real estate investor by assembling the team is absolutely possible. So a little bit on my story. I was in the auto industry at 15 years old. I ended up buying and selling my first car before I could even technically legally drive. And I had a permit. I'd have my sister, she had the 5 years of experience. And I drove that car, ended up posting it for sale just to see what happens, cleaned it up. And that's literally all I did. I didn't fix it, I didn't do anything. And I ended up making over $1,000 profit. That taught me that you don't have to necessarily work every single hour to make money. You can be an investor and still work a full-time job. So I ended up scaling that, built over 30, 40, 50, or not built, sorry, sold over 30, 40, 50 cars and had enough for a down payment. And I still wanted to really get into the real estate game. It actually took me 4 years. So if you're somebody and you've been struggling and really trying to get into the game, it took me 4 years to do my first deal. So for me to get that exposure, what I ended up doing is I offered to do an internship or work for free. I went to a couple of wholesale meetups. I went to a couple fix and flipper meetups, and everybody rejected me and said, no, like, you're sorry, no way. Through church, I found somebody that knew a developer. I did not know what development was at all, but this guy apparently knew real estate development. A buddy of mine connected me with somebody that knew him, and I talked to this person who was in banking and finance. And I shared my story a little bit, told him how I'm doing cars. I'm really intrigued in real estate. I want to get into the game. And he said, you know what? I'm going to send an email and tell this guy to come meet with you and have coffee. Long story short, a couple months later, nothing happened. I reached back out to this gentleman who was in the finance space. And finally, the developer responded and said, I don't have time for coffee, but come stop by my office for 10 or 15 minutes. We can talk and we can go from there. Stopped by his office. We had a meeting, conversation. I shared my story similar to what I'm sharing with you guys, how I'm in the car space. I've been hustling. I believe that you can make more money by having your money work for you and be active rather than just working a job. And he says, you know what? I don't have a job to offer you. I don't really have anything, but to get your foot in the door in real estate, you can work a summer internship here. So I would sit in the conference room of this development company and I'd be bidding and buying cars and fixing and selling them while being in this atmosphere of development. Well, lo and behold, I started getting all these small little projects. My first project as a project manager was managing an expansion of a coffee shop and doing a gravel parking lot. So I had to go get the permitting in the county. I had to work with my engineer, draw up plans that we're doing gravel. We're gonna add some parking stoppers or whatever you call those little concrete to stop the tires from going over because there was a little ditch for a storm facility. So I learned all of that, got it permitted, hired a general contractor or an underground contractor, and had my little taste of development. I ran that project successfully, and he saw that I was really hungry. I did everything. I did it with the mentality of I'm getting paid $1 million to do this job. And so imagine that's your perspective. You're gonna do everything perfect, above and beyond. So I had like paperwork and I had all my schedules and I had everything highlighted and I put meetings, I'm in the rain, I'm meeting with the whole team. And he saw me do that and ended up offering me a position to be a junior project manager. So remember, when you're doing something for free, the only thing that you have is your time. And so you got to go above and beyond and show that you care and exceed your own expectation on that, because you don't have value to offer, you just have the time. That's what an internship is. I ended up being an assistant project manager and I learned from the senior project manager, and I'm running projects side by side with this senior project manager, and it's teaching me the process of real estate. And so for me, what I could, if I could go back in time and if I could go into my own shoes, I don't regret anything I've done, but I was with the company for over 4 years. And to be where I am today, that played a huge major factor in my success. But if I had a mentor, because when I'm working a job and I'm working for somebody, I'm doing and I'm getting paid. If I had a mentor, he could have taught me the entire process in 3 to 6 months. And I could have shaved off 3.5 years, but I didn't have that person. And so 4 years, I'm just in it, learning, developing projects. and I became a senior project manager. I was doing commercial jobs, apartment jobs, residential jobs, working with LGI, DR Horton, national builders. And so I'm getting all of this experience because I'm getting paid for it and I'm performing. But here's the key factor. I'm getting experience and I'm not just sitting. What I did was I sold off all of my cars, and I had my brother, Ruben the builder, built a house and sold it. And I saw it. I said, oh, and he made some money on it. That's really interesting. So I connected with a couple wholesalers, a couple agents. I'm working a full-time job. And I told them, send me any emails of any deals you have. Well, after work, guess what? Boom, get on my emails. Oh, I got 3 deals sent to me. I run my numbers and I look, that's not really good deal. That's not a good deal. And then boom, one of them comes up. That's a really good deal. I can actually make 25% ROI on the project. That's my rule of thumb, 25% at least. And I end up picking that lot up from a wholesaler, paid him $20,000 for his fee, and had the architect go through the permitting process. They did all the work. I'm not doing anything during work hours. Everything I'm doing during work hours is committed to the company, but at that same time, somebody else's clock is ticking and they're doing the job. And so I was able to leverage and hire out everybody to do the job. As soon as I got permits approved, I called the builder after work, said, hey, I have this project. Can you build it out for me? And can you do it exactly like you built your other project? Just copy everything, copy paste all the finishes. So I'm out. I don't have to do any of the work. I don't have to say, here's the flooring color, here's the paint colors. I said, just do exactly what you did there. Do it here. Yeah, sure, I can do it. It's 20 grand. Okay, I'll pay you 20 grand, no problem. I locked in the loan. I didn't have all the money. I had the down payment. I bought the lot with the down payment. I put around 50,000 into the deal, and the builder is building it. Every month, I'm getting draws from the bank. They're sending wires in. After work, I stop by, drop off a check. Everything while working a full-time job. Sold that, made over 47,000. Wholesaler made 20, I made 47, builder made 20. So the deal made 87,000. I made 47. Keep in mind, my salary was not even $47,000 for the junior project manager position. And I realized that I can have my money work for me. I'm not a builder, but I can be the builder and leverage everybody and make money. So guess what? I went and picked up 3 more lots. Did it with 3, made 150,000. I was like, oh my goodness. And I got a raise at my job. I still made double my income on the side while working a full-time job. And then after that, I bought 6 more, and I was like, okay, at this point, if I'm making 3 times my income, what would happen if I went full-time into this game rather than doing this on the side while working a full-time job? For fun, I would go drive by the property before work, stop by, look at it. I'm like, this is so awesome. This is amazing. And then I'd go stop by after work and be like, okay, what did they do different? Oh, they installed the HVAC. This is so cool. So I did it more for fun. I didn't have to be there at all. I literally didn't have to stop by the property once. The bank inspectors would go inspect, make sure the job is done. The city inspectors would make sure the job is done, and then I would just write the checks. The coolest thing ever. It's one of the coolest skill sets I have found to date. Real estate investing, specifically building. And so did that, scaled it, realized I could do it full time, left, quit my job, said this is not a good fit for me. And I got the development experience. I understood how to hire contractors or a builder, work with them. I understood how to work with wholesalers. I didn't know how to find my own deals. Guys, I already built over 10 houses. I didn't even know how to find my own land. The whole point is you can have all the people do all the work for you. But then I realized 20,000 a deal, 6 deals, that's 120 grand extra I could make. So then I was like, okay, when I left my job, I said, I'm gonna figure out how to find my own deals. Well, lo and behold, it went crazy, and I ended up building over 240 homes in the last 5 years. So that's what happens when you can taste a little bit of this game and understand you don't have to be the builder, you don't have to be the wholesaler, you don't have to be the agent, and you don't have to be a finance guru. You just have to understand the process of all of it for you to scale and start to do something absolutely mind-blowing. And after I left, I built a 15-unit apartment complex. I remember that building just going up 15 stories tall, or I'm sorry, 3 stories tall, 15 units. And before that, the biggest thing I built was like a duplex. So for me to go from a duplex to a 15-unit apartment was mind-blowing. The crazy part is, it didn't take any extra effort. Guess what? 1 unit or 15 units, same cabinet colors, same paint colors, same everything. I got more involved because I wanted to. I designed everything. I was like, I want this siding, I want this flooring, you know, instead of the builder doing it. But literally the same thing. All it is a bigger loan, bigger down payment. And for some, you could say bigger risk. For me, it was less risk because I had 15 renters. And guess what? They were paying me every month $30,000. My payment was 20. So I actually realized building an apartment is super cool. You can collect that rent, pay your payment for the interest, and then I sold it to an investor from California on the cap rate, meaning what the business was making, because when you're renting apartments, it becomes a business. Whatever the business was making, they'll pay a certain percentage of that. And so that one sold for around that 5% cap rate, and that exposed me to the multifamily game. Now with the multifamily side, you've got to just really understand the underwriting to make sure you do it correctly, because you also have the parking lot involved, you have public improvements involved, all of that whole 9 yards. But that's not the point here. The point here is, if you work a full-time job, number one, you should be able to build your personal house at least and have that 100,000 of equity. We always preach that to our students. We preach that on social media because it's absolutely possible. You can even slightly overpay for the lot and still have the 100,000 of equity. I'm actually doing 2 builds right now in Salmon Creek, and those 2 builds have 27% equity. We're gonna sell them, and we're paying more than I've ever paid for the land. It's still possible, because you have to understand the numbers. You have to understand what you're working with. And so, one, you can build a personal house on the side. And no, you don't have to be the builder, the agent, or the wholesaler, the deal finder. You have to just understand the process. And 2, you can scale this to 5, 10, 15 homes a year. You're just limited by capital. So if you can do that first, second, third deal, stack the cash, all of a sudden you have a wheel. It's like a snowball, bigger, 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 bigger. And you just choose. You can build and rent, build and sell, build an Airbnb, whatever you want. The point is, the skill set is here and nobody can take that away from you. So that's my story. That's what I went through. Just want to share that with you guys. Like, share, subscribe if you found it valuable, it was interesting. And as always, comment below maybe your thoughts, feedback, and then if there's something else you want to hear from us or me, I'm always willing to put a video together for you guys. So, and if you're interested in working hand in hand with me, I have special mentorships. I only take on a few students a month for the mentorship side. I have 1, an education platform where I can teach you the whole process. And 2, I have mentorship where I work with you one-on-one. If you're interested in that, just 360-216-0323. Just text YouTube and then what you're looking for, so they know you came from here, they know what you were listening to, and my team will hop on a call with you and see if it's a good fit. Thanks so much. Catch you next time.